Greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet, and today we are going to be talking about legislating freedom. Now, for as long as we have had an active coronavirus pandemic here in the United States, we have had a lot of people politicizing the coronavirus pandemic. Why? Because most of them are shitweasels and politicians, and essentially they live off performative theater, the outrage Olympics, and scoring points for the base in order to ring up more donations, get more rage clicks, which will hopefully lead to more votes so they can stay in their high-paid positions of power while everybody else dies. Now, if it sounds like I'm coming out of the gate here a little hot, or I'm being a little harsh, well then, I'll tell you what. Why don't we take a look at what it looks like when a politician politicizes a virus while supposedly legislating freedoms that lead to the purposeful deaths of other human beings solely in the name of politics and polling. What do you say? Let's do it. Here we go! President Joe Biden delivered remarks on the effort to combat the pandemic and noted that Florida and Texas alone account for 1/3 of the nation's new COVID-19 cases. For the record, those two states account for approximately 15% of the total U.S. population. Ergo, they are running a 2-to-1 ratio comparative to the rest of the country of COVID cases v. percentage of the populace. Though he didn't name names, the president added, quote, "I say to these governors, please help, but if you aren't going to help, at least get out of the way of people who are trying to do the right thing." It was a notable plea in large part because officials, like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, are in fact getting in the way of people trying to do the right thing. As COVID conditions worsen in the Sunshine State, the Republican has prevented the private sector from requiring proof of vaccinations while also blocking mask requirements. That's right, he banned business owners from exercising their freedom, the freedom to dictate how their businesses run. Now, I assure you that if you are in the state of Florida and you are a God-fearing Christian and two gay men come into your bakery and ask you to bake a dick-shaped cake for their gay wedding, well then, you would be allowed to refuse on moral grounds, and Ron DeSantis would come out and support you for stating that your business has its own morals, its own religion, its own ideology. In fact, that very thing was backed up by the U.S. Supreme Court's decision on Hobby Lobby. That's right. Businesses get to have their own ideology and their own religion. They also get to donate as much money as they want because apparently that's protected speech. But businesses and corporations have these rights. This is, quote, the law of the land. However, Ron DeSantis has decided to ignore federal guidelines and even the Supreme Court in stating that businesses have absolutely no right to determine how their business operates during a pandemic. The governor recently delivered out-of-state remarks to a conservative group, insisting his state say, quote, "no to restrictions and no to mandates." DeSantis has taken these steps while simultaneously trying to undermine public confidence in public health authorities. Yesterday, the Floridian governor decided the smart move would be to blame news organizations. The Orlando Sentinel reported the following. Despite a record number of COVID-19 patients at hospitals across the state and dire warnings from the Florida Hospital Association, Governor Ron DeSantis dismissed capacity concerns as news media hysteria and insisted, quote, "our hospitals are open for business." His comments came Tuesday as people hospitalized with the coronavirus in Florida rose to an all-time high of more than 11,500, according to data from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. He added, quote, "obviously the media does hysteria. You try to fearmonger." Oh, Ron DeSantis. Not only is he legislating freedom, by taking away the freedom of anybody who owns a business, operates a business, or is forced to work in a business where they're abused by customers who totally aren't vaccinated, don't wear a mask, and purposely cough on people because they think it's funny. No, it's all the media's fault when the COVID numbers go up. That's right. We're not on the hunt for viruses. We're on the hunt for journalists. We're not concerned with, a public pandemic. No. We're concerned with the outrage Olympics and performative theater. That's what we're interested in. Oh, what's that? We have a virus? No, we don't. It's the media's fault. We just have a little, just a little thing, a little hiccup in the health system. We're fine. But that media, got to watch out for the media. Not the virus that's killing people. The media who accurately reports numbers given to them by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. To help put the statistics in context, as recently as mid-June, there were roughly 1,000 Floridians hospitalized with the coronavirus. Now it's over 11,000, with the state breaking its own record yesterday for the third consecutive day. Please keep in mind, this isn't the number of people testing positive. This is the number of people being admitted into the hospital and having to receive aggressive treatment for having COVID-19, many of whom are in the ICU with a tube rammed down their throat, placed in a medically induced coma with a plastic bag taped to their ass. Yeah, that's what the hospital is filled with, but Ron DeSantis wants you to be concerned with freedom and the media. It's almost like he's trying to distract you from the fact that he's going out of his way to literally let people in his state die so that he can win points nationally with conservative voters. That does not sound like smart or wise state governance, but then again, Ron DeSantis really doesn't give a fuck about anybody who lives in the state of Florida. As for DeSantis' boast that Florida's hospitals are, quote, open for business, the AP reported the following, quote, Dr. O'Neill Pike, the chief medical officer at Jackson North Medical Center in Miami, said many Florida hospitals are now facing staffing shortages. Hospitals are also reporting putting emergency room patients in beds in hallways, and some are again banning visitors and postponing elective surgeries. But surely he's lying because the media is saying that he said it, and meanwhile, DeSantis wants to make sure that everybody is free to not ever have to wear a mask or get a vaccination or have to be vaccinated to go into certain places like schools or churches or even hospitals. That's freedom, everybody. The freedom to die with a tube down your throat and a plastic bag taped to your ass while owning a business and having absolutely zero right to dictate how it operates. Freedom! For now, DeSantis doesn't appear to have much of a plan. Quote, I think it's very important that we understand that the best defenses we have are the combination of the natural immunity that's been building up and our seniors' first vaccination efforts. The governor said, adding that he believes, quote, interventions have failed time and time again throughout this pandemic. So because Ron DeSantis allowed elderly people to get vaccinated, and because there's so many people with so much natural immunity that all of the hospitals in the state are near full, that somehow this is the best plan to combat COVID-19. And again, the state of Florida, roughly 7% of the population of the United States, currently 20% of the new COVID-19 cases nationally. The state is literally a disgusting, foul petri dish filled with oversized viral load. But what DeSantis is more concerned with is freedom. Now, unfortunately, for everybody who's forced to live under the authoritarian rule of the freedom governor, well, they pretty much just have the freedom to either close their businesses down or die. Ron DeSantis really doesn't care which of those happens. Ron DeSantis only wants to virtue signal to conservatives around the rest of the country to let them know that he is the best Trump clone out of them all. He is going to constantly bow down to the identity politics of the racist Trump fringe right, and he is going to milk those udders for all they're worth. So don't expect Ron DeSantis to relent or change his mind anytime soon. Instead, he is going to focus on allowing every last person in the state of Florida to have as much freedom as possible to kill as many other people in the state of Florida as they want. Until next time, my name is James. I am from the internet and I am out. Peace.